Horsham District Football, the Jeparrot Rainbow Storm report with Big Peter Weir on the Friday Night Sports Show. Hey, Weary, how are you?
Yeah, really well, thanks, Wayne. It's a beautiful day in the Mallee and, looking forward to this weekend's matches.
Oh, big one you've got against Rupp. What a game it's going to be. But interesting enough, I believe that at training this week, you invited the umpires along. I mean, any sort of background on that, Weary?
No, it seems like it's a great initiative, though, from the Umpires Association to get the umpires out at different clubs around the place, and we really enjoyed having our umpire there, and he just cleared up a few rules, and it was just nice to spend some time with an umpire that's not with your game face on when the relationship's not always as rosy, Flo man.
Did you run him off his feet? I mean, did you teach him anything? Did he take some marks or kick some goals?
No, he surprised me. He actually trained really well, Flo man, and by the end of the day we offered him a game in the reserves, but yeah, he's got his umpiring duties, which I'm sure he took a lot out of the training session as we did, and like I touched on, it can be a bit of a thankless job, Flo man, so it was great to show some appreciation to the umpires, and I think he would have enjoyed his night.
Oh, good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, you blokes enjoyed your night last week when you took on Narrabri Quantong 11-7-73 to beat them at 6-9-45. It was a must-win at Jeparrot, and the job got done.
Yeah, it was great to respond after a disappointing game against Harrow before the bye, and we were on early. Our effort was there for the whole game. We just had to tidy up a few things after half-time, which we did. Then we were able to impact the scoreboard a bit more and run away with the game. And Charles Wild had another best on-ground performance across half-forward and through the midfield. And Tommy Long, who did travel down for us last year, he's living down here now, Flo man, and that's been a great thing for his footy because he probably had one of his best games again for us on the weekend off half-back and is really having an impact there for us this season.
Yeah, so did Benny Warren, his first game for you this year with 4 goals. Bailey Clark and Lockie Don got a couple. I noticed the big Weir just hit the score sheet with the 1, so didn't make up much ground on the out with concussion Kerwood, but that is the way it goes. Let's head to your reserve grade because it was a pretty hard tussle for the lads. They come out as hard as they possibly can, but in the end it was a tough outing for them. It was 20 goals, 10-3-3.
Yeah, close up until quarter time, and it actually looked like it might be quite an even game, but the experienced Narrabri Quantong soon broke our boys down. But highlight of the reserves game, Flo man's Rory O'Halloran, who's a prominent senior player, actually recovering from an ACL injury. So it's great to see him back out there and get best on ground. And I thought Jode Fuller did a great job at full-back on Shane Oakley, who's probably the premier full forward of the reserves comp.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's great news, isn't it? And getting depth back into the club as we head to finals is going to be pretty important. What about these 17s? They tried hard, but in the end, Narrabri Quantong's got a class outfit. I think they might have actually mercied them in the first quarter. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. Narrabri Quantong, although they're not on the top of the under-17s ladder, I reckon they'll be a real force in the finals of the under-17s comp when they get there. And Jamie Ackerman tried his hardest across half-back, Flo man, but there was just too much to do, and the Quantong boys had a big win.
They did. Marcel Badua tried hard too, along with Seamus Clark, Louis Cox, Joshua Schulz and Parker Gould, one of the kids coming up into it. Finally, here we go to where the job's getting done week in, week out. They're starting to taste victory. They're starting to go in and have a real dip, and they won 6-6-42, the under-14 Jeparrot Rainbow Storm, beating Narrabri Quantong 2-5-17.
Yeah, a bit like the senior game. They run away with it in the last quarter, Flo man, and Xander Eckerman continued his great season, and Fletcher Keller always plays well in the close games, Flo man, so watch for him to have an impact come finals time.
Tell you what, this is good from young Bronte Everett, kicked a couple. Xander Eckerman, Willem Fisher, Peyton Jeffries and Lenny Weir hit the score sheet with 1, and as you said, Keller, Gould, Bronte Everett, Lenny Weir and Dustin Eckerman, they're all going to be stars of the Storm in the future. Let's head back to senior football now and have a look at the results from other matches played last week. And it was a great performance by Kalkee, 28-22 to Taylors Lake, 5-9.
Yeah, dominant performance from Kalkee, and Jasper Gunn continued his great season with another best on ground in a match they were way too strong for Taylors Lake in.
Yeah, Jaden Kearney booted 9 and he continues with a massive season of goals. He's up to 52, just behind Matt Butler and also Jack Musgrove. Jack Musgrove 54 and Matt Butler 63 from Edenhope Apsley, so going very well. Having a look at other matches, and it was the Swifts easily over Pimpernio.
Yeah, we noted that Swifts have to keep winning well with that draw in the on the ladder now. So it was great to see them have a big win against Pimpernio.
And what about the Rapania? 17-12 over Edenhope Apsley, 7-12. The Saints are in a bit of bother.
Yeah, that's a big box to tick going down to Edenhope. We thought Edenhope might nearly get the better of them in that game, but it shows the Rapania boys are going really well at this stage, and they're way too good for Edenhope, even at their home deck.
Certainly was. And Musgrove again in fine form with 7 as he continues his rise in goal kicking to take Butler on at the top of that table. It was Carnarvon taking on Nadimuckin, and the Sheep Paddockers 11-13 beat the Cougars 9-16 in a tough one.
Yeah, they left it until the last quarter, Flo, man. The Carnarvon boys took a 3 or 4 goal advantage into the last quarter, but the Nadimuck boys were able to get home, and I'm sure their crowd got involved in the game, as they often do, and helped the boys over the line in a great come-from-behind win.
They certainly did. Harrow-Balmoral way too good for Laharam 2019 to 3-1. Hey, look, I want to ask you, Weary, how did the girls go against Narragansett Quantong in the A-grade match?
Yeah, it was a great effort from the girls, and there was a lot of noise coming from over at the court, and rightly so, because they got up 42 goals to 41, Flo, man, so it can't get any closer game than that, and I'd imagine that'll be definitely the first time they've been able to knock the Narragansett Quantong girls off, and it just shows their improvement in the last couple of seasons, and they're well on track to have an impact in the finals.
I'll tell you what, they're well on track to have an impact at the ball that's on at Rainbow next week on Saturday night after your home deck game at Jeparrot. Everyone then gets dolled up and dressed up. The girls will get noisy, I reckon, that night.
Yeah, no, it should be a great occasion. It always is one to mark on the calendar, and yeah, it's not this weekend, but next weekend, Flo, man. So it gives people a chance to get themselves organised, and yeah, just to note that it is actually at the Rainbow Town Hall. So even though the match is at Jeparrot, Flo, man, so one to make sure you get right, because there won't be much of a party happening at Jeparrot if you head that way.
Yes, a bit of a party happening with the girls. If they continue winning on the netty court and get doled up at the same time, it'll be very, very good. What about this? In the round 12 matches, your quick tips in senior footy, Nadimuck and Pimpernio, a battle for 2 bottom clubs.
Yeah, I think Pimpernio will look at this as a chance to win on their home deck, and I'll go with them just in an upset against Nadimuck.
Apsley is the venue, and if Butler plays, he could go further ahead towards that 100 goals against Taylor's Lake.
Yeah, Apsley have showed this year they can kick a score, and a lot of that is coming off Matty Butler's boot, so I've got no doubt they'll have a big win against the Taylor's Lake lads. And
the other matches, we've got the Swifts playing Laharam, and as you mentioned earlier, percentage is crucial. The Swifts will get some against Laharam.
Yeah, I think Swifties will. Angus Murray, who started his career as a backman, is now gone forward, and he's given him a good avenue to goal, so watch for him to kick another bag, and they'll be too good for Laharam. And the Keys should get a bag, and Cooney should continue his rise up the goal kicking with another big win over Caniva. Yeah, I think key position-wise, the teams will be quite even, but the smaller players at Kalkee will be a class above the midfielders of Caniva, and that'll be the difference in the game. Narragansett Quantong at home get Harrow-Balmoral. Near neighbours, real rivalry, but I think on the score sheet that will be Harrow-Balmoral winning. Yeah, I think this game will confirm Narragansett Quantong has dropped off a little bit, and Harrow-Balmoral is as strong as ever, Flo, man. So look for Harrow to have a big win against Narragansett Quantong. Okay, to your big match over at Rapania, but it's going to be the boys in the green outfit. They take on Panthers, who are going to be snarling and ready to take the storm on. How do you think you'll go? Will Kerwood play? Have you got the great man Warren from South Australia back for this week? And does it mean that the great man Peter Weir, there won't be room in the forward line? He might have to go to full back to take on Musgrove. Oh, hopefully there's a spot down there for me, Flo, man, in the forward line. But as you mentioned, it will be a jam-packed forward line because Benny Warren's making the trip over again, and as we know, Jay's probably the best small forward in the competition. But yeah, there should be great matchups all over the ground. We go over there with a great deal of confidence, but the Rapania boys couldn't be going any better, and I think both teams do take good form into the match, and it should be an exciting contest to be involved in, and also for spectators to watch, as you'd expect with 2 top-of-the-table teams going at it. All right. Does it mean a bit of depth then and some good players back into your reserves? Because they're going to take on Rupp, who are 4th place. Your Blakes are 8th place, but not without a chance of winning. And if a win could still keep you just in touch with that top 6 on the competition. Yeah, this week does see one of our stronger reserves teams take the park, but I think the depth of a Rapania Footy Club this year might be just a little bit too good for our reserves boys. But yeah, it should be a good contest in the reserves grade to kickstart the day. 17s see Rupp,
who are going okay there. They're up in second place. Gee, that's a good place for them to be. Might just be a little too strong for your lads who haven't got the depth this year.
Yeah, it's great for the Rapaniap club, who I think a few years ago didn't have a junior side. So for them to get some really quality juniors back at the club is a great thing. And I'll actually be the timekeeper for this match, Flo Man. So I'll be able to give you a detailed report next week of how the boys go.
Either that or how long the quarters went for, at least. Big weary this one, though. We're all going to be watching this. I'll tell you what, Rupp in fourth in the 14s. They've got 28 premiership points. Japarra Rainbow in sixth. They've got 28 premiership points. This is an absolute belter of a game.
Yeah, I'll definitely sneak over a little bit earlier and get a good look at the second half of this game, Flo Man. Hopefully when I arrive, the boys are ahead. And it's an important game because Rapaniap are a likely team they're going to face in the finals, and it's always good to have edge on teams as you enter a final series. So hopefully the boys can come away with the win and just that little bit of confidence that if they meet Rapaniap later in the year, that they'll be able to handle them.
Oh, handle them they will. And Big Weary, I know that you're looking forward to having a full complement with Warren and Kerwood and yourself. It's going to be magnificent. What a massive match. I think you can actually get the job done, beat Rupp. It's going to be a huge effort to do so and keeps you with a little outside chance of a top 2 place at the end of the season. What a weekend of footy.
Yeah, it should be great, Flo Man, and I look forward to bringing the results next week.
Beauty. Well done, Peter Weir, talking the Japarra Rainbow Storm report in Horsham District.